Hello, it is Amy from Vilify, and I am here with Heavy Mac, chatting about our newest single, From the Inside.
Awesome. How are you today, Amy? What's been happening?
Work, because I have to do that.
Do that, to float the boat.
Not my choice whatsoever.
So you've recently released your newest single, From the Inside, which you've said addresses struggling with sexuality internally and externally from people from time to time. So how has the reception been so far since you've released?
This one has actually been sort of a bit of an interesting one. A lot of people love it. A lot of people love like the riffage in it and stuff like that. But it's actually the first time a lot of people are like, don't really relate to this one. And they're like, oh, I think that's probably why I have to write it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But then a few people have been like, oh my God, yes, this is perfect.
Yep.
In a couple of interviews when I was like hearing a few people being like, oh, I like the riff, I just don't really get it. And it's like, as always, as I'm sure you've experienced, a lot of like cis heteronormative sort of males are just like, oh, I feel like they don't want to be insensitive by being like, oh yeah, I totally get it. So they kind of go, oh, I didn't really get it, but it's real catchy.
Yeah,
which
pat on
is
the back.
Kind of yeah, which is kind of them to not kind of want to like step in the light of that, I guess. So I was trying to take it with the most positive way I could. But I was like, oh, yeah, this probably isn't as relatable to as many people as like some of maybe the other topics that I've like touched on with other things. But then I feel like I maybe went with all my talking about what it's about way too directly. It was more about the feeling, I guess, of like being told to feel a certain way or be a certain way and not being able to do it. But this was just one very specific example that I wrote it off. But so for the people that related to it, incredibly good. And to everyone else, it was, I think it's just kind that they've kind of like given me a place to kind of share those feelings, and they respect them enough to be like, I'm not even going to pretend I understand because I don't. So you have your moment, which is, I think, just as kind, but it's a different kind of kind, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like you said, that's exactly why you need to write it and put it out there. Because it is teaching people how to communicate about it as well.
Yeah, and there's been a couple of people that were like, yeah, my friends kind of pick on me, but they pretend they love me. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So you always put your heart and soul into your writing. Are you finding the writing and releasing process is getting easier as you're going on, or is it still like fucking daunting?
Still super daunting, but for like the opposite reason, that I feel like I'm still singing about the same stuff, and it just makes me like internally be like, have I not progressed that much? Is this even helping?
Yeah.
But no, they're all like different phases of it and different ways of dealing with it. I feel like I keep coming back to similar topics, but with different mindsets. Like before I would sing about something with sadness, and now I'm singing about with anger, or like vice versa. But it just feels like singing about the same sorts of things. I feel like I've always written lyrics about things that I can't talk about as openly. So it's, for some reason, as soon as I like make a rah-rah noise and put drums behind it, everyone's fine with it. But just chatting about it normally feels real weird. So easier in the sense that I'll just write about anything now, and I feel comfortable to do that, where before I think I was uncomfortable to sometimes share those feelings. But I've shared almost everything, I think, that I've felt at some point or another, in at least a little bit, in almost every Vilify song that I've put out, that we've put out. So yeah, easier in the way that I'm not scared anymore, but then harder in the way that I don't want to be repeating the same stuff, but I'm still feeling some of the same stuff. So it's that fine line, not wanting to be like a broken like record, but I still feel it. So
so it's like
that's about it.
The same dish, but like different seasonings.
Yeah, exactly. It's just chicken, but
it tastes different.
Different for some reason. Yeah.
So the last time we spoke in 2020, since then you've stepped away from the bass, you've brought in your beloved Lizzie, and you've stepped into being a frontwoman. So how's this transition going for you? Like, do you feel somewhat naked without your guitar, or have you grown into it?
I think I've grown into it, but I've realised my cardio isn't there.
Yeah, right.
But I've gotten a bit better at that. From a live perspective, it's so much better recording to just focus on one thing and one thing only.
Yeah.
And try and like know that I'm just going in writing with the intention. I still pick up a guitar and I still pick up a bass to like do writing stuff, which is sick. Like I actually love that. Like guitar was always not even bass, but guitar was actually like my first love.
Yeah.
And it's probably the thing I play the most, including vocals. Like I still just probably play guitar the most.
Yeah.
But in this setting, it's so much nicer to go into recording knowing I've just got my little one job that I have to do, and I just got to do it the best I can do it.
Yeah.
And it's really, really nice. But from, yeah, I have so much faith in the guys to do all the other stuff now, and they're infinitely better at it than me. It's a very easy thing to give up when you've got someone like Jenny or Kieran or even Lizzie.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're in good hands. You can let go.
Yeah. If anything, I was in the road.
Oh, I love that. So your artwork from In the Inside makes a great statement. So was that everyone's idea, or how did that come to be?
I feel like I'm being so selfish in this one. I promise we are a band, like it's a full collective. The visuals for this one, I actually had like the idea. Like I think I had a dream about it, like like something similar. And it wasn't related to this, but when I like dreamt about it, I was like, man. Then when I was writing the song, I was like, it kind of feels like that dream I had, like this feeling that I have of like being. I originally wanted to do it as a music video, but we couldn't make it work. To like work in time for what we need to do and like within budget and all that sort of stuff. But it was that idea of like darkness pulling something back in, and like the idea of like in the closet. I was very literal, and I think that's why maybe a lot of people didn't relate to it. But it was, I felt the artwork was trying to make it a bit more ambiguous with like a monster, any monster, these monsters doing their things. But yeah, they were literally meant to be that, like whatever darkness or whatever thing that someone else has viewed as negative is like pulling you back into this bad place. But our friend Amy, not me, from Melbourne, who grew up here in Newcastle, she had done artwork similar, and she does heaps of spooky stuff. She's so cool. Like Rick's and Creative, if you want to check it out. But she does so much weird spooky stuff where she like shoots it and photoshops it, so it's not like digital as much as it is. She's like composite photos together. If that makes sense.
Yep.
And I was like, I reckon she would smash this, like absolutely smash it. And she sent us like the first draft, and we're like, it's done.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I meant. I was like, I just want big white, like the most transparent sort of like life of. That's like how I feel. I'm like, I'm me, and I feel really this. And then there's like these creepy things behind me trying to pull me back in, and and she just nailed it. Like that was exactly what we wanted. The picture in my head, it's like she pulled it out somehow.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It ties in perfectly. For what you're going for with the song, I think that's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so you've accomplished a lot since your EP Clarity. Do you feel like Vilify has morphed into what you hoped for?
Yeah, I want to do more though.
Yeah, I'm not done.
Not done. We actually feel like it's funny that you talk about Women Clarity. I would love to hear that interview, like you said.
I'll send it to you.
I don't know where we're at that point, but so much stuff for us got so like, and I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but I'm going to get so fucked up. Like we had so much stuff planned that got cancelled, and it was just so defeating. And it feels like whenever I think I love this band so much because of all this hidden adversity that no one knows has happened. But just we had like the grandest plans all laid out a million times over, and just something goes wrong. But we just keep at it, we just keep chugging away, and everyone's like, but you guys are doing so well. I'm like, you should have seen what was planned.
That's hard work, man. That was hard work. Because what was that? That was December 2020, so that was like COVID land. Yeah. The first time it like kind of lifted is when we started playing shows, and then we were like, okay, we're good, and we booked like almost the whole year. Ooh.
And then so then we were like, cool, but then all like the kind of opportunities we had that were ready to go didn't really present themselves again, so then we were like, bloody heck. So we had to kind of like start again on some other stuff. But not that I'm ungrateful for every opportunity we've had, because we played some crazy shows that I just never would have thought we could have played, and we've got to release so much music that we just never thought we would have this much music out already. But yeah, it has done so well, better than I expected, if that makes sense. But I want to do better, and we're going to do more. We've got so much more, and we're definitely not done with delivering what we've got.
No, you've
I feel like we're
amazing.
I feel like
to
we're
push
now
through
just getting close to what we want it to sound like as well. Like everything else we've loved, every single thing we put out, we've always said the next thing has to be, we have to love it more than the thing we just did.
Yep.
And that's always been the case, but like we feel like the last maybe like 3 or 4 songs, we're like, oh no, we finally got to a point where like this is what we are all super happy for it to sound like. Not that anyone was ever compromising. It's just we're like, oh, this is my favorite or this is my favorite, and we'd like never like fully agree or. Oh my god, it's a cat. I love it.
Hi, this is Eddie. I knew he was going to pop up at some point. Sorry.
It's okay. But yeah, we always agreed that we loved the songs and everything that came out was our best one. Yeah. But like the direction or the vibe of them was all different. But everyone this now so far has been like, nah, that's it. Oh, this is it. Oh, yeah, this one's it. So we're like, yeah. We're like at the point where everything we write, we would want to listen to. We're super proud to show other people. We feel like it's beginning to sound a little bit different as well. So we're very excited. So we've got more. We've got heaps more. We're so excited.
Yes, awesome. So you're always upfront and honest about your battles you encounter from time to time mentally, which I think is an amazing thing. It's a great tool. We all have our demons, that's for sure. Have you found your community and being so transparent with your fans and peers? Like, do you feel like that is like a kind of a diary kind of thing where you can open up and feel better, or how does that go?
Yeah. Double-edged sword, because I feel some of the people I've met and the people I've encountered at like live shows and even online, I'm sometimes a bit crap online, so I am sorry if that sounds like I'm giving people, I'm just bad at it, but like especially in live shows, it's a double-edged sword, because I love to try and take the time to talk to anyone that wants to talk to me about anything, and hearing other people's experiences and how they relate and how our music has helped them, or even like music, like someone will see a shirt I'm wearing, and be like, I love that band. I'm like, yeah, they like helped me so much. Like, I love having that conversation with someone when you're in the right headspace.
Yeah.
But the unfortunate thing about playing shows is you're not always in the right headspace, but you have to just be in the right headspace.
That's it.
So for 99% of the time, it's the most therapeutic, cathartic thing to like relate to someone and be like, oh my god, you feel exactly what I feel. That's so exciting. But you came to me about something I said and you were like, I felt that. I'm like, I'm not alone. I'm not a weirdo. We're all weirdos. Like, that's the best. But then, straight honesty. Like, sometimes though, sometimes you just want to be at home with your cat.
Yeah, I feel that completely.
And someone telling me how sad they are doesn't help me feel any better. Like, that's it. So. But, most of the time, the best thing ever. There's such a good community, and I feel like even for myself, even when I first started going to shows, the song, people wrote music about all these things, but I feel like the conversation was a bit different where now we talk about it so much, and I would like to be part of that reason that people are happy to talk about it as opposed to suffer in silence sort of thing. So even when I'm not in the mood, I make myself in the mood. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome that you are able to be the voice of people who can't do it, even when you feel like you can't do it. You stand up, which is an incredible thing. That's really cool.
The guys really help. When I'm not in the mood, they look after me a little bit as well.
Yeah, they're your family. That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
So, how do you go with work, love life, band, and everything else in between day to day? Like, are you part octopus, or what's the go there?
Well, I've done a really good job of making them all weirdly related. So that my life is like a bunch of circles, it's like a Venn diagram. A good chunk of it, same shit, which is very, very handy. So as you said, I've got a couple of bands. Lizzie's in both, so it kind of makes our relationship pretty interesting. I wouldn't say it makes it easier, because it makes it, we don't spend a lot of quality time together, but we spend a lot of time together. So it's a little bit different, but we try to make the best effort we can just to turn like little moments into what other people probably would go on holidays for. We just kind of go, oh, let's have a Thursday where we get pizza. The biggest struggle is always like the work band balance thing, because it's so expensive, everything's so expensive. Even if they're making money, just not being there is expensive, just because rent, food, all that sort of stuff's so expensive.
Nothing stops when you go on tour.
I have a really, really beautiful job where everyone is super supportive, and my boss is an absolute sweetheart and tries to make everything work for me to be able to make it happen, which I just feel so like I don't deserve it, but I will do everything in my power to make it up to him permanently. But the same as everyone I work with, all my little babies at work. They just support everything you do. They come to every show that they can. And so it's all kind of weirdly related. But that just makes it so easy, because when I'm away, they know what I'm doing, and they're not like, oh, you're a slacker. They know I'm killing it, doing something else. So if I come back and I'm tired, they're not like smart assy. They're probably hungover because they were there too.
Yeah. Oh, that is awesome. Well done.
Yeah. The friends thing seems to get lost a little bit, but so I do feel bad for all my friends. So I end up mostly just with music friends, which I guess is the only sort of friends I guess I need anyway.
Yeah, that's it. There's no hard work there. They're understanding and all in the same boat. It's fucking easy.
Yeah. I don't see my mum enough, though. That's probably the one.
Oh, not Mumsy. Come on, man.
She lives in Sydney and I'm Newcastle, so I blame her mostly. Yeah.
Come see me, Mum.
Yeah, that was more than I see her.
Yeah, yeah, I'll send her this. So I'm digging this like all black vigilante look you guys have got. It's like the all black. You do your belt and your long sleeve. It's like kick ass. Was this intentional, or did it just somehow become a uniform?
Well, we're all just big emos at heart, really. So the all black everything comes naturally to most of us. But we were thinking about the idea. I know so many bands are doing like a look thing, but it wasn't so much that as more of a, we all feel like when we go on stage we're like a different version of ourselves. Like,
yeah.
I don't think I get up on stage and I'd be like the biggest tough C-bomb out there, but like I feel like I get up on stage and I'm delivering a message, and it's very different to the version of me that's like, haha, poo joke.
Yeah.
Like, so we were trying to like make a way to sort of separate those, because it was super weird. Like, we almost wanted a way, and similar to what you were saying about, how like sometimes it's not always on, it felt really easy to go, well, I get in this outfit and I feel this way.
Yep.
And I get out there and I be angry and I get all the angry out. And then I go put my stupid anime t-shirt on and I start making fart jokes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like there's some aggression that comes out in live music that you like, is almost like, oh, I don't like that about myself a little bit. Like it's comforting that I have a place to leave it, but I kind of want to leave it, if that makes sense. So it's nice to be like, oh, this is like my little costume, and I do my little performance. And this angry version of myself, because I've spent so much of my life trying to not be angry.
Yep.
This little angry version of myself, I get to get changed. I'm no longer that person. I'm the healthy, emotionally stable person that I want to be. We wanted to kind of like separate that to be like, this is the performance version of us, but we didn't want it to be like something that wouldn't still radiate as what we're like. Yep. So sometimes it's a little bit fun if it's a show that's a little bit silly and a little bit fun. Sometimes it's a little bit fancy if it's a show that feels like it needs a bit fancy. But we wanted to feel more like a unit. We wanted to, if you see us walking through the crowd getting ready, you're like, oh, they're together. Like, we wanted to be like, they're a family, they're a group. Like, there's a resemblance there. We all look incredibly different as humans. So we're like, we're a family though. So it's like the world's worst version of if you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, where it's like, I want a good family resemblance. Like, we're trying, but it's just like, that's all we've got. It's black.
No, but it works still. Like, I noticed it. Like, it's working.
Yeah, and we just didn't want to, like, we've been the band next door, we've been those guys next door, we wanted to kind of elevate it. People are coming to see us perform, and we want to, like, make them feel like they're seeing something, if that makes sense. So we want to put the effort so people know that we are trying to be something worth turning up for, as opposed to just, oh yeah, I rolled out of bed, and oh, I'm sorry, better pick up my guitar. Like, no, we plan it, we think about it We just want people to know that we care as much as we can in every aspect. So it's kind of that, I guess.
Yeah, cool. Well, it's working. Good move. So, last question for you. What's on the cards for Vilify? So you got a couple of shows, or actually you got plenty of shows coming up. Is there an album on the cards, or what are you guys thinking?
Well, originally we were playing the game of just like writing out singles because we hadn't really decided on a sound. Like, we just kept being like, oh, we're happy, they're all kind of different, but we then realised there was underlying bits that felt very similar. And we're like, maybe they are all similar.
Okay, we're cohesive.
I'll be honest, we were all feeling really defeated. Like, we had a couple of singles that didn't kind of go the way we were expecting, had a couple of shows that didn't, like, fell through, that we were kind of like banking on, so we were all feeling a little bit defeated. And then the other day we were just like, I don't even remember who said it. I honestly don't remember whose idea it was. But someone just went, "Bucket, do you want to do an EP again?" And we all just went, "Oh, that's exciting!" Like the idea of finding a thing. Like, I'll be so transparent and honest. I think I've got like 8 songs ready to go.
Oh,
like,
cool.
we just know what to do. Almost an album, probably.
Yeah.
Like, not that it's recording, but like demoed and that sort of thing. And we're like,
That's
that
interesting.
sounds sick. Like, a live body work, like that we can tie it together, make it feel cohesive. And then I've even like gone back to the table a little bit on some of the lyrics to try and like, not to change them, but to be like, okay, what are some similarities? So the missing ones that are missing lyrics, I can like find the missing pieces that work more cohesively together. I think it's something that was missing from the Clarity EP was that it was just a bunch of songs that we had that we were ready to put out.
Yeah.
Where this one we could try and make it a little bit more of a little unit with maybe like a longer sort of direction as like a body. But that was the most exciting thing we'd had happen in the band in a while. And it's not that everything's been doom and gloom, it just was really exciting to us, the idea. Like, we went, that sounds so good. So EP next for sure, but we've got another single very soon anyway. Not super soon, but like soon enough.
In the works. Awesome. Oh, well, thank you, Amy. Thanks for your time. That was awesome. Very good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out in the future.
Yeah, it'll be sooner than you think, and we'll have a chat about that one.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to say, we'll catch up when this comes out, because I have a feeling it's going to. There's excitement there.
You got it? I love that.
Yeah.